ANC Provincial Secretary in the Free State.
Better.
Okay, the question is, Mr. Bulwane, how far is the progress of the Lekgotla since yesterday up until now?
We have been locked in a plenary since from yesterday, precisely to get the reports. Yesterday we've been getting the reports from all the national departments that are doing some work in the province. For an example, your water affairs, your state South Africa, your public works, your labor department. Those are national department in nature, but they are doing some work in the Free State. So yesterday they were briefing us about what is it that they do as these departments, how much are they investing, what is their job creation in terms of their line function in the province of the Free State. And then today we have lined up the provincial government. The MEC has been presenting since from the morning, and then after lunch we received the 6 municipalities, big municipalities in the province, 6 of them, of which is Mangaung as the metro. It's Machabeng, Mokaka, Metsimaholo, Malutia, Pofung, and Dihlabe. And then all those municipalities, they will make sure that they give us what is it that they are doing. The provincial government has given us, all the departments have given us what is it that they are doing, what is it that they can do up to the 9 months that they are left in office as this administration. And then from there, we will sit down and begin to say, how best do we popularize what we have done? Because we are responding to a question raised by the president himself to say that we are not communicating all the successes that we are doing as an ANC-led government. The ANC is not talking about all these issues. So we are responding to that call to say, these are the things that we have done. So tomorrow we'll sit down and consolidate all those things, all those input, and then bring them together in a form of a booklet that will carry to each and every area in the Free State. We'll package that booklet, and then we'll also go to municipalities. For an example, we'll go to municipality of Sasolburg, Metsimaholo in particular, the town called Sasolburg, and say, before 1994, there was only one secondary school which was in Khopole. And then today, as we speak, there are 3 secondary schools as a result of democracy, as a result of this ANC government. So there are a number of things that will zoom into a particular area and talk about the achievement that we have reached in that particular area. So that is the essence that we are here today discussing, coming up with a way forward. But the final end program is to ensure that we communicate to the poorest of the poor. What is it that we have done? And we believe that we have done a lot.
Okay. Is there any progress that you see from the reports that you've got from the departments that you have presented already, and in particular the provincial government?
There's a lot of progress. If you read or if you have checked the presentation made by the Department of Education, there's a lot that they have covered as the department. There's a lot that they have done. And then all the departments, there is a lot of improvement. There's an issue. There are issues which are tangible that we can talk about and say this government has delivered to the poorest of the poor. Even the sports department, the smallest department in a provincial government, it has delivered up to its expectations. So we are very satisfied and very happy that we are all going in the right direction. And that there's a lot that we must still do as an ANC government. This administration, as it's preparing for the end of its term and preparing for another administration of the ANC that will take over, we don't do a relay sort of some kind of arrangement that we have failed here, take this and carry on with it. But we are saying each administration, you have done what we have said you'll do, finish the new administration, focus on something else. Because we still have a long way to better the lives of our ordinary masses of our people.
Were there mandates given to departments at the beginning of the term, and that those mandates, are they achievable by far?
The mandate is our manifesto. We have come up with a manifesto at the ANC to say that in this term, these are the priorities of government. And then we placed those priorities. We said, firstly, education. Improve the quality of education. And then as the MEC was presenting yesterday, was showing us those strides and those successes that they have managed to do in ensuring that they improve the quality of education in the province and at the national level, and the challenges thereof. Also, in terms of the priority, look into the issue of health. We have also looked into health, and then we are very happy that there's a great improvement. And then even if you read the Stats South Africa, the report tells you that many people are getting these services of government, including your health and a number of things. So that was another priority. And then the other priority was job creation, decent jobs. We are having a challenge in that particular sector of ensuring that we create jobs. Number of our young people are not working, and the graph is not going up. Instead of going up, it's going down. There are those challenges that we are faced with, economic recession and a number of things, company closing down their factories and a number of things that are there that affect the job creation. But we are also concerned as government, and that's why we are coming up with certain measures or certain interventions to ensure that people are getting some interventions to ensure that there is jobs. Also, in part of these priorities, it's a crime, combating crime. We are doing everything possible to ensure that everybody who's involved in crime, it can be in corruption, any form of crime, rape and murder. We are fighting those crimes, and then as we are listening to the South African Police Services yesterday, that's where they are winning most, particularly dealing with all these sorts of crime, your gangsterism, stock theft. They even received an award yesterday from Agricultural Union that the stock theft has been reduced. The crime rate has been reduced. They are fighting. They are reducing a number of things. So it's a work in progress. That's the mandate that we have been given. Also the rural land reforms. And then as we all know that this year we are marking 100 years, or is a centenary of the Land Act. So we are also celebrating that and beginning to say that the core function of the ANC in its formation 101 years ago, part of its mandate when it was formed, it was to fight for the Land Act, for the land. So that's why the scrapings of the land in 1913, the ANC still fight it even today. So we are also talking about the land even now. So it's a burning issue. That's why I said, let's come up with rural development so that people are not congested in urban areas only, but also on those outskirts. We must develop those outskirts. We must develop not only in Nkandla, as the media is portraying, that is the only village that is being developed. There are a number of developed rural areas. So we are saying, let's take rural development to those areas so that they don't have an interest of coming and having more numbers of people sitting in towns, having a land that is not used outside towns. Because we all know that people in towns, they are depending on those people who are at the rural areas, who are at the farms, in terms of survival, getting their food. Those people must produce. So we are trying to balance that, and those are the pillars of our mandate, to say that we must reach these 5 pillars as we go to the next thing. So, and then we are happy about the progress made in terms of all these things. All the departments that have said anything, even the sports one, to say that whilst we are striving to get all these things, because one another complements one another. When you talk about crime, you must include sports, because your young people must go and play soccer, your young people must be at the soccer field to do 1, 2, 3, there must be choir competitions. We must also uplift our cultures as black people. So those are the things that complement one another. When we combat this, we are also dealing with this particular one. So we feel that all the departments are on the right track in terms of our manifesto.
Coming into the Lekgotla, was the leadership had any expectations from the departments?
The only expectations we have it was to check how far did they go. Remember, it's the first Lekgotla of its kind. We have never had this kind of Lekgotla since we've been having Lekgotlas, but this one we have only zoomed into the work of government. How is the government working? All the Lekgotlas that we have been having was looking mainly into the operations of the African National Congress, how does the ANC operate and work moving forward. But this time we said, let's focus to the government. This Lekgotla, it should be about the government. As you see, most participants are your mayors, your MECs, your speakers, all those people who met us at the local government level, who met us at the provincial government, those who met us at the departments that they were given responsibility to head in the province. So those are the people who are participating. So to us, it's so important that everybody must say what is it that we are doing in the past 4 years in ensuring that, so that we convince ourselves that the ANC government or the ANC-led government has worked for the people of South Africa, even though we still agree that there's a lot that we must still do.
So moving on forward, to those departments that didn't do well or maybe didn't go according to your expectations, what then will be done?
Well, up to now, in terms of the presentations that we have, all the departments have pulled their socks. You can see in the Free State also, in terms of their operations, all the departments, there is no department that has a disclaimer. It shows that there's an improvement in all spheres of government. All the department has improved. Others have moved from qualified to unqualified, others move from unqualified to qualified. But there is general movement of ensuring that the Department of Sports has joined the Premier's Department and the Department of Finance to get the clean audit. So there's a general movement, even at the local level, in municipalities. There are those 6 municipalities which are still, or 8 of them, that has got the disclaimers. But the majority of them have moved out of the disclaimer to qualified. So, and then from there, some of them have moved from qualified to unqualified. There is generally a movement. And then that movement is a positive movement moving forward. So we are generally happy about the present presentations made by the government departments.
Now, will the ANC as the ruling party be preparing itself for the election and sustaining the leadership of this province?
We have already prepared ourselves for the elections. We have been involved in a number of campaigns. Our stronghold, as we all know, that the ANC stronghold is door-to-door. We have been engaged into door-to-door. We have called the President Osin Botshabelo as part of our campaign and contributions to these elections. Remember, as a Free State, we have made a resolution that we want to win this election with 85%. So we are working towards that. So we want to get everybody ready. That's why we are saying, let's have this Lekgotla now, so that from this Lekgotla, all of us, we must go on the ground and work very hard. Tell our people, tell them the stories, that the things that we have done, and then work so hard and inform everybody who needs to be informed about what we have done. And then we are saying that we are going into a full swing in ensuring that everybody, every South African, every Free Stater has the information about what we have done as the African National Congress. And then as this leadership, we are here to steer the ANC to the next elections. So we are the ones in charge. So we must make the ANC to win these elections with 85%. We once had 82%. And we want to increase from that 82% that we once had. In the previous election, 2009, we moved from 80 to 72%. We have lost 3 seats, I suppose, of which it was a loss on our side to the COPE, 4 seats here, and of which it was a loss to us as the ANC. So we want to claim back those seats and then also eat in the seats of the opposition, your DA. And then we are not worried about the DA operating in our township. We are hopeful after this Lekgotla will claim what belongs to us. We'll claim the street of South Africa as we used to do. And then all our volunteers in yellow T-shirts will make sure that we marshal everybody voting the African National Congress come in the next elections.